Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. This is Andrew David, Blake Newbar's partner program. So diving into understanding a little bit better your brand, your marketing, your vision, your mission, who you are as far as what your audience is concerned, right? Now, we dove into yesterday some of the training you can find right inside Russell's book in .com Secrets. There's a few other places that I'm pulling some of these elements from, but that's what I wanted to get into over the course of these few days. So first thing we're looking at is what an attractive character is. How can I set up myself to be someone that calls people to me? That's what we're looking at, right? My role is to build awareness around myself. And in doing so, people start to pay attention. I raise that awareness, I pique their curiosity. They decide they want to look and hopefully end up purchasing something of what I've got, right? So yesterday we talked a little bit about the elements of an attractive character. So go ahead and, put yourself in this category. If you need to imagine yourself with longer hair or no hair or, whatever, bigger muscles, go ahead and imagine that. This is you. You've got your backstory. There's the parables, the ability to tell the little stories that you have, things that you've done, the character flaws and the polarity. Go through yesterday's training if you need a little update on that. Now, we're looking at the 4 identities, different types of characters. The reason we're looking at this is because you are going to assume one of these roles, essentially. So there's 4 major archetypes here. I want you to kind of imagine these and think about which one fits you best. Doesn't have to fit you perfectly. And the cool thing about these identities, guys, is that you can kind of transfer from one to another occasionally. You don't have to remain locked in as one. Okay, so the first one is the leader. This is the person who's going to guide the audience from one place to another, takes the audience by the hand, shows them helps them avoid the common obstacles and pitfalls. Backstory is very similar to the target audience, meaning I'm connecting with the audience that's where my background is as well, right? I've gone through all of the trials, all the tribulations, all of the frustrations, just like you may face, and I want to help you overcome that because I understand what it feels like to be where you're at, but I also understand what it's like to achieve some success. Now, the leader, this is where some people may not feel comfortable yet because you haven't quite dug all the way out of, that journey yet, right? This is essentially saying, I've walked it, I've done it, I've been there, I've gotten through it. Let me show you how. If you're not comfortable with that yet, that's okay. This can be something you develop into. Okay. Questions about the leader. Next, we have the adventurer or crusader. This is someone who's driven by curiosity. I don't always have the answers. Look, I don't know everything. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna figure it out. Right? If you're doing a video series, if you're trying to help people, hey, I'm gonna test this out. I'm gonna show you what it's like. I'm gonna take you along on the journey. I'm gonna walk you through that process, right? It's similar to the leader, but you're just a step or two ahead. You don't have to be really far into the process, right? So I'm going to go out. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to talk to you about the journey while I'm on it. And then I'm going to run into all of the traps. I'm going to figure out what's there and I'm going to help you avoid some of those problems, right? So I'm allowing the audience to be part of that journey. It's kind of like in fitness when you have people showing, hey, day 1, I'm starting the process. This is my before weight. This is what I look like now. You can do that with your business, right? Hey, I've been in this just a little bit now. Where a lot of you, though, are going to kind of connect is going to be right here, the evangelist or the reporter. This is not just taking on, this mission by yourself, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to find other people and I'm going to learn from them and I'm going to use their truths either, so you've got interviewing experts, you have authorities, and then you have other people in the industry. Now, again, this is a powerful identity because rather than having to convince your audience how powerful your uncovered secret is, you have other sources testifying for you. You borrow credibility. The evangelist or the reporter. How can you do that? So, okay, I get this, but once we start the funnel, how can we be expected to be all this to thousands of people? Social media, right? So honestly, the evangelist or the reporter is probably going to be a better fit for many people, right? Because the leader is kind of, that's the Bob Proctors, the Tony Robbins, that's people that, Blake, who's done this much further along, right? You have the adventurer who's just, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to figure it out. I'm diving in. The evangelist or the reporter, how do you think you guys can use that persona for yourselves, especially when it comes to what you have here with the partner program? How do the two intermingle?
Maybe like preaching what you have done, like, or achieved, maybe.
Right. So that's part of it. Sure. So he's talking about being an evangelist reporter is partly interviews, gaining, you're borrowing credibility. Okay. So thanks, Hartley. What else can you do? How can that work?
I would think what you're teaching us about how to find content,
right?
Just tell them how to find content.
Right.
So taking what you're teaching us and giving it to them.
Right. So this is kind of a combo of the adventurer and the reporter, right? So I'm going to go out and I'm going to find content. I'm going to share it with you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you, hey, this content's coming from, here's this nugget that I picked up that I went out and found, but it's coming from Russell Brunson, who's done, through ClickFunnels, there's been over $1 billion of sales done. Let me show you what he's done. Right. So I'm bringing his, like, if you can't go out and interview someone, like I was able to bring Blake on, I bring on Brock and Tara and Chris and Jason, and Steve Sims is going to be on, and I'm going to have some other people in the next 6 months. So I'm able to bring in and borrow their credibility, right? You guys can do the same thing with content. If you can't get on an interview right away with somebody, I can borrow the quote, and then I can explain the quote to you, right? So I'm going to come in and I'm right. What does an evangelist do? They're not walking into the door with, Jesus standing next to them. They're saying, hey, here's his words. Let me share what he's teaching you, and let me explain a little bit so it fits your life a little bit better. Right? That's what you guys are doing. I'm taking this message and I'm figuring it out. Why do I share all these different books and use their quotes? Because trying to become original and come up with, like, how many hours of content have we done at this point? Right? I take what other people have done, I modify it some so I can share it. And in that way too, you're borrowing credibility. Recognize that's what you guys do with your partner program. How many of you guys, you film the video, hey, let me introduce the instructor to you. Here's this guy who's been doing this. He's the go-to guy for internet marketers that want to do blah, blah, blah. Let me introduce Blake Newbar. You're borrowing his credibility. Everybody else recognize that, look, when you sign up and you're coming through the initial process before you book that welcome call, right? I'm here, high performance coach, right? All you guys, you've been around for months. You know how this whole process works. High performance coach, you pop on a welcome call with me. Before you get to the welcome call, did you watch the video where Blake and I are standing side by side talking? What's the purpose of that? The purpose of that is you just got done watching Blake. Blake's the expert. Blake's the man. This is who you're following. This is who you liked. Now, Blake is standing next to me and saying, hey, you should listen to Andrew. You need to hop on a welcome call with him. All of a sudden, I'm borrowing that credibility, right? I'm gaining credibility because of Blake. You guys are doing the same thing in your funnel. Hey, I'm here. Now you're giving credibility to Blake for your customer because they get to know you, right? You're the one they're connecting with. Now I'm giving more credibility with Blake, and look at what he's done. So that in effect raises your credibility as well. Right? So some of you guys in your niche, think about your niche for a second. Does everybody have in their niche someone that's local, or somebody that you found a page anywhere on Facebook that you've been able to connect with someone that they like you like their page, you've seen what they do, what their business is? Everybody should be able to find that, right? Honestly, that should take you 30 seconds. This is my niche. I'm going to go like their page. Now, is it feasible to say that if you put in a little bit of effort, you may be able to message them and ask them a couple of questions about their business and why they do business and what kind of customers they serve and where they want their business to go. Without asking them to buy anything from you, could every one of you do that? Yeah. Odds are every single person. Now, there's levels, right? There's levels to that. So if I'm working with attorneys, I'm not necessarily going to go for some huge law firm in New York when I'm looking for a partner, but I can find somebody, a real estate investor, a real estate agent, a broker, whatever. And if I can ask them a couple of questions and then maybe post their stuff on my page, and then I'm then connecting with someone in that industry, and I do that over and over and over again in different ways. Can you see how that would raise my credibility within the industry? Here we see that, right? So your role to your audience is to help them on their journey. Now, their journey in this sense is how to market their business better, how to get more clients. And some of you guys want to take that further. Some of you have ideas to, business coaching or social media management or other services. So then it becomes a little more complete what you're going after to share and help them do in their growth. And there's nothing wrong with those other elements. If this is, if the partner program, your basic products here in the DFY Plus, if that's the only thing that you have to do, you have to offer to them, that's fine. You can still offer little bits of insight on being an entrepreneur, on dealing with day-to-day life, right? We all have those struggles. They're all regular people, and you don't want it to be just bashing their head with sales. I want to interact with them in one way or another. So does everybody see now how the evangelist may be the evangelist or reporter with your niche may be a way to do that. So Hartley, you're asking about how do we do that with thousands of people? You build up slowly that audience inside of groups or on your page. And I don't have to be that to thousands of people individually, right? My message, what I need to do, I know if I can connect well with one of you, that other people will pick it up as well, right? If I can pick, this is why I identify my target, because I'm speaking to that target, right? This is why when Blake in our group call, when I asked him what he thought skills were, 3 important skills, he said listening for number 1, and I talk about research. When we put those two together, I'm researching my audience and then I'm listening to what they say so I understand what they are. So I'm just trying to talk with John or Sheila that's in my niche. I'm just trying to talk with them because I understand their problems. And I know, and this goes to the polarity, I know not everybody's going to like what I got to say. And that's okay, right? I'm not trying to please everybody. I'm really not, right?
So Andrew, I have a question for you.
Yep.
Outside of the intended funnel that I'd like to do,
Right.
I have e-commerce,
Right.
which has 6 to 12 other niches. And
Okay.
now my Facebook page looks like a disaster.
I would have multiple pages. You can't service 6 to 12 niches on one thing. It becomes too confusing and your audience will not stick around.
All right.
That's just the reality. It ends up looking like a convenience, like a Sears catalog,
So
Sears
to that
catalogs
point,
just aren't as effective as they used to be. Mike?
so to that point, Andrew, would you then model your Facebook infrastructure as your profile page, kind of based off of a single kind of, hey, here I'm quote unquote the guy, and I have all these other business pages based off of different niches?
You don't have to, remember, you don't have to position yourself as like, I'm the man, right? You could say,
Okay.
I'm in the process of becoming the man, right? I'm on this journey and so I'm going to get into kind of the mission and vision. And I think that plays to, the how you position that as a whole. But that art, like the archetype, the reporter, for example, like I'm stepping in every way possible. I'm finding people that are in either niches and industries or something that's a step or two above me, hopefully. And so in that effort, I'm borrowing their credibility and I'm super active, right? And in that process, then I can become a resource for anybody. I mean, you look at, Joe Rogan, for example, and I know some people don't like him, but damn, that guy can interview. Tim Ferriss, 4 Hour Work Week, his podcast, he interviews, 2 of his books that are just absolutely amazing are that The Tribe of Mentors and Tools of Titans. It's him interviewing experts in just about anything you can think of. I got an email from him this morning and I'm looking forward to listening to a podcast he just did with a neurologist talking about performance and everything else. Here's a dude that just, he wrote a book about the 4 Hour Work Week. He's done all these different things. He's not saying necessarily I'm only this, but he's taking you through a journey of life. And that's just part of it. If your journey of life has an actual journey and there is a series of progressions within it, that becomes interesting. I'm going to talk about the mission and vision for a second here, but I know so we have branding yourself and you have branding a company, right? And you guys decide which one you want to do. Whichever you're doing, you've got to establish the attractive character. So either yourself or the company. I'm highly in favor of branding yourself in one way or another. Because here's the thing. You may not think you're interesting. You may not think people want to follow you. And at the very beginning, trying to describe who you are and what you are and everything else may not be easy because you're learning how to do it, but you're the only one that's like you. You're the only one that's experienced life the way that you have. And the simple fact that you are here today means you've overcome all of the BS that you've passed in your life where you thought you wouldn't. You're here, you've accomplished it. Congratulations. And maybe you want to be in a better spot, and great, because that's admirable. So you'll continue that journey forward. You'll do the little things like what we're trying to do with the 30-day challenge this month. I'm trying to go out and do, go to the Springs or do zip lines or do this or read a book for the first time or send out that email I was talking about earlier or go skydiving or whatever the hell it is, right? It's going out and accomplishing something else. Yeah, you've got Elon Musk. You've got, Richard Branson, who just flew out into space, right? And now he's selling, I love, such an entrepreneur. If you go to Richard Branson, like if you click on the social media and then you go to the link, it's a funnel selling an opportunity to go out and be an astronaut, for that flight. That's what it is. He's got a funnel set up for it. So it's fantastic. And shake your head. I know he does a lot of good with his money as well. I've had the chance to meet him and sit and talk with him as a group. It wasn't just like one-on-one, but he's doing something. Here's this dude that, dyslexic, never went to college, just decided go follow his story and what he actually did, right? Like how he started Virgin Air. He was trying to go on a flight and the flight was overbooked. He couldn't get there. And so he went, he chartered a flight on his own to the Bahamas or Puerto Rico or something like that. And chartered a flight, went back into the airport and got a bunch of other people that couldn't get on the flight that had been overbooked or the flight had been canceled and got them to pay him a certain amount. So he flew down there. That was how he chartered his first flight for Virgin Air. Like that's how it started. And now he's in space. Come on, guys. When you worry about, is your story interesting? Make it interesting. Talk about it. Turn it into, tales from the road. James Sherman, some of you guys that are truckers, right? Marketing tales of a trucker gone wild, whatever you want to call it. Be a little goofy. There's, come up with part of that. And then share, if you're going, well, I don't have the experience yet. Well, then borrow someone else's experience until you do. Right? Russell talks about that in his book. That's how he got going. And you end up borrowing other people's credibility. Right? So how do you build the worst mobile network in North America? That's a different conversation. All right. So evangelist, reporter. And then the last one is the reluctant hero. Now you can kind of get to that point. Russell Brunson in .com Secrets says this is kind of where he finds himself now, but it's, hey, I didn't mean to be here. I wasn't trying to be here, but I figured it out. Let me show you. right? And so I think he's kind of blending out now. Russell is kind of a balance between reluctant hero and leader, right? I think he's kind of done both at this point. So I think most of you, to begin with, most of us are going to fall in between kind of the adventure crusader or the evangelist or reporter. I think the evangelist or reporter, to begin with, is one of the simpler ones to do, because what I'm doing is I'm going out and I'm finding other people's content, or I'm connecting with other individuals and I'm using their words because they're the expert. I'm the apprentice here. I'm just sharing with you what they said, right? Let me give you an example here and then how I put it to use. That's what you're doing, right?
Andrew,
Yes.
I have a question regarding the personas, the 4 different personas.
Yeah.
If I, for example, say that I post something today, being like a reporter, is that like a good thing to like the next day post something like in a different, with a different personality, let's say?
No, you're gonna hold fairly true to one archetype, right? You're gonna to one identity. You know, it switching to, like, what would you switch to? You're using 2 examples there, Maria. Where, if you're going reporter, and what I'm doing is I'm borrowing content. I found this great quote by, you know, I'm going to share one with you guys in a minute, from Simon Sinek, right? Talking to you about marketing and you know, your why as far as a business goes. So from reporter, evangelist, sharing other people's, interviewing, etc., which one would you transition to?
Maybe to crusader, like after saying, hey, I discovered this and I did this after that, whatever.
Okay. So I think part of that would be, it depends on what you discovered. Did you discover it because Russell said go do it, or Blake said go do it, and you did it, and blah blah blah? Or did you didn't see it anywhere, you tried it for the first time, right?
Yeah, the second one, yeah, the first time, yeah.
So if I'm doing this because, hey, this is my first time doing it, and you know, but I've got a mentor that said go do this, so I'm going to go do it. I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you what it is. Man, Blake said to do this. Russell said to do this. You know, Bob Proctor said to do this. Richard Branson, whatever. Look, I did what these guys said and it worked. Let me show you how I did it so you can understand it too. Well, then I'm still the reporter. I'm an adventurous reporter, right? Like, so I'm blending it some. I think as long as you don't jump from that to, you know, I'm the ish, let me show you what, you know, why I'm such a rock star, right? As long as you don't make that jump, then you're okay.
Like
right?
being blunt or.
Well, no, I mean, starting to make claims of certain levels of success that you haven't gotten to yet. Like, there's a transition to get to that point.
Oh,
as long as you're not doing something like that, then you're okay. And you know, I think that's why I say, like, the adventurer and the evangelist, I think those 2 fit well together. And guys, I don't care how old you are, care how much experience you have, either one of those will work. Right? Everybody on board with me? Right? This is a no excuses group. Nobody on here is going to bitch and moan about difficulties. We're going to overcome them, right? And share that journey. That's part of the character flaws that we're talking about from what they're talking about here, right? Your backstory, the character flaws, that's part of that journey. Okay. So yeah, the adventurer and the reporter, to me, go pretty well hand in hand. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about, and we're going to get a little deeper into this tomorrow. Okay, so combining the attractive character we were just talking about, and then your mission and your vision. How many of you guys, in business at any point, have had to help create a mission statement? Anybody? A few of you. I got a few people already raising eyebrows at that. What's been your experience creating a mission statement? Who'd like to share? Has anybody thought about doing that for this?
I can comment on that.
Go for it, Michael.
I have a number of companies, mainly in medical research.
Okay.
What I found is that to clarify in my mind what my heart really wants to do, so I have to write, you know, like a 1-page thing or a half a page thing, you know, or longer than edit it down. Because if I'm not clear exactly why I'm doing this, which may change with time, but right then I can't do it right. I don't
Yeah.
serve the needs of other people.
Yeah. And that's a huge part of this, right? So with the understanding, mission statements and even vision can be organic, right? Because this is what I'm doing is I'm setting up the parameters of what and why I want to accomplish something. That's what you're trying to do. Now, writing a mission statement isn't easy because, like Michael said, a lot of times there's like, well, we want to do this. And you start talking with someone and you go, well, why do you want to do something? Or what would you like to accomplish? And it just turns into this huge long thing. And one reason that a lot of people struggle with this online business or any online business, because they don't bother to ever do this. They go, well, the only reason I'm doing this is to make money. Okay. Well, if behind everything you just want to make money, that's fine. That's great. We've all got bills to pay. We're all doing this because we want something for us. I get that. But now I got to go, okay, so what is my company? What are my products? What is it that I want to accomplish with that? Or who am I serving and how am I serving them? Because then everything else that I'm looking at and what type of content to put out and maybe even what type of identity to use as my attractive character, all of this starts to come together because I have an idea what my voice should be to my audience because I understand what my mission is. Yes. So I'm going to start to go through this and give you some examples. There we go. All right. Some questions to ask yourself. And I am going to give you guys this here. I'll get you this slide here in just a second. What are your company's vision and mission? Do you know the difference? What differentiates you from your competitors? What are your customers looking for in terms of value when deciding to buy a product or the service that you've got? Because I know some of you guys have services as well. And what's going to leave your customers feeling satisfied? Right? Everybody got that? So vision and mission, what differentiates you? And then what are they going to get? All that. Okay. So what's a mission statement? It's a formal summary of the aims and values of a company. The product or service you deliver, the audience you deliver it to, and the problem it solves. So our audiences will depend on the niche, right? Every one of you has maybe a slightly different niche. So who would like to explain to me, as part of a mission statement, the product or service we deliver and the problem that it solves with the partner program? So we're talking exclusively this. I know some of you guys, we've got the DFY Plus. Some of you guys are doing services. Some of you guys have other coaching. With the basic elements of the partner program, what are the products and services that we offer? What problem does it solve?
I'd like to share with that. In my niche, the product that I'm selling is something that I've gone through. So that product is very important for them, for me to receive satisfaction in them continuing what I went through, if that makes any sense.
Well, so that's going to be part of maybe your vision or how you feel you want to help them. And I get that. What we're looking for here, guys, what's the product or service we have within the partner program? Somebody explain it real quick. Give me the most succinct. Here it is. What do we have?
How to
in the
capture
partner
leads,
program?
how to capture leads,
How to capture leads.
and how to perpetuate that to your audience or that product, the product that they have, how to perpetuate that.
How to help them perpetuate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, you were going to say?
I was just going to say how to utilize social media in order to increase your customer base.
Yep. So our products, the blueprint, the masterclass, everything, what it is here's a training. And then if they go masterclass, here's training and some templates. DFY would be, here's some done for you elements. Here's what you need for your business to get better at social media, to improve your engagement with social media, to increase your followers and turn those followers into buying customers, to like perpetuate the products, kind of like what Carmen's talking about, right? So we can all understand that. I provide products, I provide training and products that allow companies to better reach their audience and to sell more using social media, right? That's what you guys have. Now you may have some other stuff. You may decide you want to do some other things. And like Sue, you're talking about, I've been through it. I want other people to learn how to do this. That's part of, how I explain what I'm doing, right? Or the why I'm doing. But first thing I need to do, you guys got to understand, this is my product. And now the problem that I solve, this is what I do. This is what the product does. What's the problem that it solves? for the businesses that we're going after, right? What's the problem that it solves?
like stop like trying to help them not being stuck, like
Okay,
Well-
businesses are stuck. Businesses are stuck with social media. That's one problem. Yes.
Help them get more clients.
Yeah, that's okay, but that's what it does. What's the problem?
Not enough clients.
Not enough clients, not enough money, not enough money because they don't have enough clients. Confused by social media.
I would say
nothing.
marketing. Marketing is they
The
don't know how
marketing
to
sucks.
market. Don't
Yeah.
know how to.
Also getting qualified, like it's nice having leads, but
Their lead
Qualified.
quality. So again, the problem here, guys. So you're giving me part of what the product does, but the problem is their lead quality sucks. Their marketing sucks. Their social media sucks. They don't have leads. The leads they have, they don't convert. Right? That's what guys. What does the U.S. Chamber of Commerce say? 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years, and then after that, another 50% fail in following years. Right? Like now, why do they fail? People talk about undercapitalization. Well, shit. If I sold enough, I'm going to have the capital. They suck because their marketing sucks. Businesses fail because they don't reach their customers, and then the customers they do reach, they don't convert. So I've got a product that's going to help them. Now that's my main product, but part of my mission then is going to be to help them overcome the obstacles that they have with their social media, right? To help them solve the problems that they have, to help solve the frustrations with their marketing, their online, like all of the, improve their quality of leads through training and products, templates, images, et cetera, that they have that's ready to use. That's what I'm doing for them, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, part of this here, we'll go a little further here. Okay. So this is the quote from Simon Sinek that I was talking about. There are two ways to influence human behavior. You can manipulate it or you can inspire it. Very few companies can clearly articulate why they do what they do. By why, I mean your purpose, your cause, or your belief. Why does your company exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? Why should anyone care? Now, there are different levels to the why. There's different levels to the purpose. I understand the problem. There's different levels to why I want to solve it. The initial level is I got something I want to sell. I want to make some money. Right? And that's great. And you'll be able to sell some like that. And then we have some members that come along, and some of you are right there. You just need to just turn that dial a little bit. Just get around that corner and be patient with yourself because it's going to happen. But if you come in and you go, look, there's a problem in this industry and I want to help it, right? Addiction recovery, therapy, some of you guys are working with. So it may be, like my dad was a locksmith. That may be something. It may be, well, I want to work with painters and contractors because my husband or my girlfriend's a painter or a contractor. I want to work with this because of that. Maybe it's just, hopefully if you guys, because some of you guys pick a niche that maybe you're not as connected to, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's one reason why we talk about connecting with something that maybe you've got a little bit more passionate about. It's not just so that you can go out and you can find something to talk about. There's levels. And people catch that. If I am this character, this attractive character, and I come forth and there's no connection at all with me and what I'm talking about, and like with you, right? I want to help you get your business going. You dog groomer, you doctor, you plastic surgeon, you bricklayer, you pool service guy, because damn, I want my pool clean. Whatever the hell that is, I want to help you do it. And so, yeah, I've got these tools here, but man, I'm going to give you everything I got to help you in your business. I'm going to be here for you. I want to be that resource for you. I want you to know that it's important to me. Which of those two, the person that just goes, I got some cool products and you should buy them because man, it's going to solve some problems for you, versus the one that goes, look, I'm invested in your business like you are because this industry is important to me because of XYZ. And not only am I going to teach you and I'm going to interview you and I'm going to bring experts on to talk to you about it, but I got some products that'll solve your social media like this. Which one of those two is going to build up an audience that wants to buy what they've got?
The person that's passionate about it and has a
Right.
connectivity
The
to
person that puts a little more into, what my mission is. I want to solve their problems. This is the product that I've got. And now we get into the vision a little bit, right? Kind of that next level. If you guys pick something, and I know some of you guys look, businesses with motorcycles, moms, single moms, fitness, weight loss, personal trainers, online marketers that are 50 and up, whatever it is, guys, put a little more behind it and add that into your messaging. You'll start to see a difference. I can't tell you how much of a difference that'll make versus, hey man, I got something cool. It'll make you money. Well, sure. Everybody tells me that I'm going to make money. That's awesome. Why? Why should I listen to you? Why is this going to help me? Do you understand my problems? Now, if my mission statement directly says I understand what your problem is. Here you go. Now, how do you write a mission statement? First thing, what do we do? How do we do it? Who do we do it for? And then I got that twice. What do we do? How do we do it? Who do we do it for? Those are the kind of the key elements. Now, some quick examples. Spread the power of optimism, inspire health. So these are a little short, honestly, and I've got some longer ones. I'm going to share kind of the mission statement, vision statement. But what I want you guys to look at to begin with is this: what do we do? How do we do? Who do we do it for? Okay. So macro level, meaning the bigger level from a distance. I've got this, but overall, this is kind of where I want to take people. Right. So I'm going to give you guys these slides. Right. Here we go. Because this is a multiple part series. Do we have questions about mission statement, what I was just sharing here? Nothing? All right. I'm going to give you guys the slides. On there's the mission statement. It's also got your elements and it's got the archetype.
Oh, sorry. Sorry,
Go for it.
Andrew. So
Yeah.
quick question. So should your mission statement also reflect your values? Because I know they could be one and the same or two different.
It can. So here's the thing. Mission statement, vision statement, and we'll talk a little bit, vision statement here. I'm going to get into a little bit more tomorrow. The mission clarifies what the company wants to achieve, who they want to support, why they want to support it. The vision says that's more along the lines, Carmen, I think, of what you're talking about, where you want to build a community or what you want to do with the world, what you want to happen as a result of what you're doing, right? The mission statement is the roadmap for the company's vision statement. Does that make sense? So like, I want, in 5 years, I want to help X number of people, or I want to help, men and women that have been in professional situations that are looking to find a second career, that have, or even remain in the career that they have, but they want to step into their potential. I want to help them make a difference in their own life. I want them to recognize what they're capable of. I want you to step out and shine, step out into the light that's shining down, that for some reason you've been hiding in the shadows, scared of what you're capable of. I want to help you achieve that. I want to help thousands of people around the world do that. That's part of my vision. Now, my mission is going to be how I'm going to achieve that. And so I recognize that there are people that are not living up to their potential. I recognize that there are people that are wallowing in fear or nervousness about taking any kind of step that is above and beyond what they've been accustomed to over the course of the years. And whether that is because of the blueprints that they grew up with or those that are around them, they're scared to do more. And so what I want to provide is a series of trainings for the mental side and the business side that will allow them to escape the monotony and the rut that they're in, right? So I've got my mission, I've got my vision. My mission is going to allow me to achieve my vision. We're going to get a little bit more into vision tomorrow and some other examples. But what I want now, in order to achieve this mission, I've got the products. I'm developing some, right? I've talked to you guys some about that. So I'm sharing some of my mission, right? So I've got digital marketing products. So people that are wanting to start a digital business, here you go. Along with Blake's partner program, I've got website services, social media management. You want to buy an automated Walmart store, something like that, let's talk, right? On the other hand, I'm developing out the personal development side, right? I'm developing out how to grow there. So I've got that. What I want, so with that, those two elements combined, now I can say, all right, what is going to be for me and in my position and connecting to my mission, what's going to be the best archetype to achieve that? Guys, this is a hell of a lot more beyond what you get inside the partner program. This is beyond what you need to start. And I want to be clear with that. You don't need all of these things to start. But if you start creating out a 5-year vision for where you want to be, then I promise it can be helpful. Okay. There's a lot here, and you may be listening going, what the heck? Like, oh my God, I didn't know I need to do all this before. You don't have to do any of this before you launch, but it will help you with your content creation over time. If I'm clear on what my mission is, and I go, look, this is, I'm the evangelist, reporter archetype. Okay. Well, then I can borrow someone else's content all day long because that's me. It doesn't have to all be me. They don't have to be Andrew quotes. I can quote Paulo Coelho. I can quote whoever, right? You guys got to look at all of those aspects. So I'm going to give you the link for the slides. All right. On that note, tomorrow we're going to dive a little bit more into vision. We're going to talk about blending these together. And then for those of you that have done this, you can share some of those stories with me. You can start to give me some links for things. So I want to say Thursday and maybe even Friday, we'll get into examples of content and pages from you guys. And we're going to evaluate it based on these trainings, right? We're going to evaluate it based on what we're going over right now. So some people are giving me their stuff already. Unless you can tell me, hey, this is why I'm, this is the archetype, or this is, the character flaw that I want to use in a story. This is a storytelling element. So that's what we're going to be going over tomorrow, is that vision and the storytelling elements. Okay. So in order to get you guys on that note, love you guys. Go out, have an awesome day.